Let's go.
Welcome back, everyone, to Chakra OutLoud.
What we say, what we say.
And you don't get upset.
We got, all right, we got my man Dan right here, one of my favorite clients. I get along with all Dans. It's like a track record thing. So, yeah, introduce yourself, my guy.
My name's Dan Vogt. I'm president of Monmouth Millwork in Neptune, New Jersey.
Cool beans.
Oh.
So this episode, we're kind of going to start off with like what we have going on at the shop, right, Jay?
Yep. So we have a sip and paint coming up that is currently sold out. Will be hosted by Mr. Smiley.
How do
I'll
you
be
feel
there
about
too.
selling
I'll
it
be
out
right-
again?
I'll be right in front of the stage.
This guy.
Pouring, painting for people.
So the sip and paint is going to be spring themed, right? No.
Yeah, so my goal is, like I said before, is for me to sip and you paint.
Oh my
I
gosh.
paint all the time, so I don't have time for that right now.
The way it works is those who will be in attendance purchase their tickets as soon as they dropped. I think we sold out like in less than 24 hours. And they show up. We provide all the supplies. You bring your own booze. That's how it works. So we're having this one, and then we're thinking of having maybe another one in the next quarter, maybe hosted by Smiley, maybe hosted by another artist. If you guys have a preference, just let us know.
Yeah.
Very nice. Friday the 13th, we will be hosting a horror day, not typically a flash. Brian will be presenting a bunch of different sizes of pieces. So if you'd like to partake in that, we'll be having forms go up very shortly. With
So
those
it's a
informs
Brian
on
day?
Instagram.
It's a Brian day, but
Really?
it's a Brian like horror day because it's like Friday the 13th. And Brian's horror pieces are
They're fire.
horrific. Yeah, so I think it's really cool that we're doing something like that. We haven't done that before. We've only done like small flashes. So I'm interested to see.
Have Brian even ever done a flash day? Or
Yeah,
something?
he's done like 3 or 4 flash days.
Lisa.
I think one
I
night
yelled
him
it
and
low.
A stayed to like 11 doing flash. Yeah, so Brian's had successful flash days. I'm just interested to see him do more horror stuff. I know that he really enjoys doing that. So yeah, I'm excited. And that is when? May 13th?
Yeah, May 13th.
Oh, snap. So we have like
2
Friday,
weeks.
Flash Friday, and then, or Horror Friday.
Yeah.
And then we have the Sip and Paint.
Yeah,
Busy
back-to-back days.
weekend.
Yeah. Back-to-back days.
Over here.
One thing I'm excited to see, Chakra OutLoud will be taking Rolling Loud in July 22nd to the 24th. If you guys were on the pod last week, maybe even 2 weeks ago, we talked about a little plan of going to tattoo some of the artists, maybe make some connections, have a big
It was just an
opportunity.
interview.
And
It was
like
just an interview.
marketing. We were supposed to be going to
concert
concert.
just to interview
market.
celebrities.
Yeah.
To market our business.
Yeah.
And
You're a
somehow.
celebrity to me.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
Oh shit! All right, you see, you heard it first, right? So, dude, I don't know how it landed on me, but now I'm performing in front of fucking stage. It's,
So we got passes, right? We got passes, and we're thinking like, this is awesome. We're gonna be on stage with the artist. Yeah, but the artist performing is this one right here.
It's awesome.
yeah, it's super exciting.
How did you find yourself in this situation?
How do I find myself in a situation?
All his
First of all,
situations.
it's always being a good person, because I strongly believe in this, man. When you align yourself and with everything you're supposed to do in life, and you're genuinely a good person, things good happen to you. And a lot of people can't explain. We're like, why he got that way? I can't explain it myself. I just know that I'm a good person inside, and I know shit comes to me. Like this is an opportunity that so many people would love to have. Like, I know personally growing up, people that were musicians and stuff, and they were trying to make it to this level, and I just happened to shake hands, say hi, and now I'm here, which is freaking bizarre because I'm a different artist. You know, I work with my hands and stuff in the porn industry. No, I'm just like fisting. No, uppercut to
Ladies and gentlemen, my
Oh
husband.
God. All right.
Wow.
But yeah, I do this, you know, I paint whatever, I do what I do, I tattoo Dan, tattoo a lot of people and stuff like that. And then for me to suddenly jump into another industry, especially the music industry, because it's very convoluted, it's very crazy, and right now I'm still excited and I'm almost like in an awe.
Yeah.
I think he's still in shock. I think that
No,
I
definitely.
think it's still
100%.
shock, right? I also think it would be fair to say that like you do good music.
Yeah.
It's not.
Low-key,
I'm super
He's-
excited. I'm
he's
super
good.
excited.
So it's and not because he's like, you know, because I can be
She's
I can
my
be
wife. She has
very
to say
I can be
good
very
things.
honest. I can be I let me rephrase that. I am very honest with him. But
She'll
his
turn me down, she has to.
his music is very catchy, and like not only do I catch myself singing it, like my kids, their friends, like anybody who's listened to his music
is.
before, it sticks, you know. So I am excited to see you perform again.
Well, I fell off a roof, so something happened to my brain where it gave me perfect patterns and stuff. I'm like, so yeah, it's gonna be a cool performance, man. I'm looking forward to that. It's gonna be sick.
We will be hopping back into convention time in October. We will be heading to Anime Con. Myself, Smiley, John, and Ace.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm super excited for the Anime Con. I've never done one of those. I didn't even know that thing existed.
I have a question. Did you submit your portfolio?
I did.
Okay,
Dun,
good
dun,
job.
dun. Oh,
I've been getting
shit.
at him for
The Price
it.
is Right. Come on down. Yeah, no, I'm ready for the Anime Con. It's super exciting. I'm not that into anime like everybody else,
Me neither.
especially Ace. So I don't know names of anything because I'm working all the time. You know what I mean? So now I have to sit there and like watch a whole bunch of like anime videos so I can get familiar with what I'm working with. So I don't be like that person that just agrees with everything a person says. Have you seen it? I'm like, yeah, I heard about it.
Hi,
You know what
I am
mean?
that person, and I haven't even heard about it.
She has zero TVs, zero like. media.
I don't watch TV.
Yeah, no, I'm not
Just
a
like
big
work.
movie, TV person either, so fully understand you guys with that.
Yeah, do you watch anime? Dan? No, right?
I am not too into the anime.
Me,
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't have time for it, man.
I mean, hey, more power to you.
Yeah,
If it's like
I
your
think it's
thing.
really cool that there is like such a want for it that somebody was like, hey, let's organize a convention, and then it go on to be incredibly successful.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that you're
I'm
able
also a
to.
fucking dad, so that takes away from me like cartooning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
It's interesting how there's so many, like now, and especially with the internet and everything, how everyone's connected, there's so many little niches, like in business and conventions, all that you could be into something, and it's like there's a whole community
thing
that.
for it.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
a
Like
whole thing.
my wife had Blythe dolls. Like that's not quite anime, but they're similar. So like
Right.
there's these specific dolls, and like she went with her friend. They went to BlytheCon, and there's
That's
like all these.
crazy how there's
They're really cool. Like people
Yeah,
do all this stuff.
yeah.
They take like the sheen off of them and everything. They do all kinds of stuff with it. But
Okay.
it's like a whole community
It's
of
like,
these
yeah, like a
dolls.
whole
It's not-
community and world that.
And
It's not anime, but it's like
Yeah.
Something.
people that roll in that community. I think get
I
into
get
the
it.
Blythe doll thing.
Yeah, and
They do really cool
yeah,
stuff to them.
And he's right about the whole. There's a group for everything because I don't know if you heard this, but there's this a pony group. Have you seen it where people dress as horses?
Oh, yeah.
Furries.
Yeah.
And they
the
fucking go
furries.
to a
Yeah,
farm
yeah.
for like hours, and then they get to jump over shit and like.
Who doesn't like to eat a whole apple? You know, that's your thing. Like
That's your thing.
I
Yeah.
have a
Roll with
backyard. We can do that shit in my house. I'll host it. I'll bring the ropes. Oh my god, it's gonna be great.
Dan, before we get into a little bit of the business world and how you got introduced into it, how did you and Smiley come together to make your first piece? How many pieces do you guys have? How'd you guys meet?
Chill. Cut that out.
there's community for everyone.
Wait. So you're the rapper, and then this clip comes out.
I'm not in that community. Stop it. All right? There's different ones.
Okay.
How we connected? It was what was it? Probably about a year and a half ago, I guess.
Yeah. Holy shit.
I think.
Damn. You're right. Bro.
So it was about a year and a half ago. I was interested in doing a cover-up piece. I have way more tattoos than you would imagine because they've all been covered up over and over and over again. Because when I was like 25, I was like, wow, that guy's got a good deal. not so much. But he's done amazing work for me. We're about to finish up the back of my arm next month.
That's
But, you know, and covering up and adding, we just did this, what was it, 2 weeks
that
ago?
is
Yeah.
really nice.
Which it's almost
Persephone.
almost healed up. We did Persephone. We're going to do Hades on the back of my arm. We have my wife, which when he did this, I was like full confidence in him.
She actually came in. I took a
She
picture.
came in,
of
we
his
did
wife.
photos, and the second
Yeah.
it was done, he cracked me up because he was like, dude, thank God that looks like your wife. And, you know, I think when you're dealing with someone like in a client relationship or a business relationship, anything at all, it's like having that level of comfort, which was a cool thing in coming in to meet with him because I feel like we had an instant like
Right away, as
connection.
soon
Like,
as, like, we shook
we're
hands,
good.
it
Like
was
I knew
like,
in meeting him, like this is going to be a good thing. Like I came in for the outside of my arm first, and then from there I was like, we're gonna be good together. It's gonna be a good fit.
was a
So
pact.
it's a lot of fun. It hurts when we hang out.
Yeah. As wanting to run your own business, like he said, he made the joke about finishing up the piece. How important is it to like hold your own confidence when you're trying to start something new or run your own business?
I think there's there's two types of business owners, in my opinion. There's a business owner that, like, the business runs kind of behind the scenes, like if you think of like a drop ship type thing, or like, you know, something like that, where that client is not necessarily purchasing from that person. You know, they're just seeing a deal on something, and it's like, cool, you know? And if you think about, like, hotels, right? Hotels used to be a big deal. Like, people really 100%. Were like, wow, I'm going to go stay at this hotel or that hotel. Now they created Priceline, that kind of thing. And it took, like, the personality away from it. And now hotels, it's like, well, I don't care as long as it's in that area and I'm good and click who's got the best deal. They took that connection away. Right. And that's one type of business. And the other type of business is where you're creating a relationship with someone.
Client-facing, man.
Yeah, like
we're right there.
And people, when they work with me, they're working with me because they want to work with me. And there's certain people that I will say right up front, like, based on the way we're talking here and what we're doing, I don't know if I'm the right fit for you. Not in a nasty way, not in anything, just I don't think I'm your fit. You know what I mean?
You know what's crazy about those people? That they still want to work with you even though that they're difficult.
So
they still, but I want you.
Even not necessarily
but
difficult.
It's like,
if it's more like,
not,
you know, like with building materials and design and working with a homeowner, if I feel like if it's not meshing, or even a contractor, if I feel like we're just
not getting on the same page,
cohesive with one another, I'll say, you know, I think maybe this guy down the road might be a better fit for you. For what they do, they're probably a better fit, like with what they offer versus what I offer.
It has to be a two-way street. It has to be a two-way street.
Because it's also just like they want something. I want to provide them with something. At the end, they're like, this is great.
And it's your name at the end of the day.
And it's my name. I think having that personal connection is combined with the era that we're in has created so much opportunity that if you are a small business owner and you do even the smallest niche business, because of where we are and the world being as connected that it is, if people gravitate towards you and if people know you're passionate and you're honest and upfront, like if I'm being kind of like fake and just like, hey, how you doing? Like,
people are going to recognize
they know I'm a jerk then, you know what I mean? But if they know I'm honestly interested in what they have to do and I'm honestly interested in their project, they're going to want to work with me and then they're going to want to refer me to their other clients. It's really how I've grown myself professionally as an entrepreneur.
You need to be interested.
Is that I've worked on things that I'm passionate about.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's fucking great,
I think that's the whole goal, right? I was having a conversation with somebody and they were like, well, you need to understand that you're in the service industry and you're there to provide a service to people who pay. And yes and no. I think that because we decided to kind of step outside of that box and do our own thing, it grants us the ability to do things that we love to do and work with people that we like to work with. And so, yes, you may very well have money for the service that I'm providing, but if we're not seeing eye to eye, then like you said, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because you want to do a good job. If someone's spending their money, you know, I have respect for that. Like, if they're going to put, you know, a certain amount of money towards, say they want to do some custom entry door or something like that, and that entry door is, you know, a $30,000 door that's getting put in their house. Well, I want to make sure that I'm doing right by them. Like, that's a responsibility that I have to make sure that,
that's a major responsibility.
You know, if someone's coming to me saying, hey, you're the pro, I want you to do this and that, and it's like not my arena, I will happily bow out and say, this isn't really for me, but this person could absolutely
you can kindly
help
decline
you know?
many clients.
I was going to say,
have to sit there.
Have you had a consultation where someone has really wanted to work with you, but you guys just weren't seeing eye to eye on a design?
Yeah, and I'll tell them straight up, man, because I'd rather not sit there with this tension between us.
That's a responsible thing to do for the client.
Yeah,
it's the right thing to do
because
by the
if
person.
I do sit there and actually take that client, even though I didn't like the concept or whatever, that's just me worrying about the money, not the quality of the work that I'm putting out there. So I will kindly decline or pass them forward to another artist. I wouldn't do that. You know what I mean?
I think if you're passionate about what you do, and if you really care about what you do, and you care about making sure that your client, I don't want to be the guy that says at the end of the day, 6 to 1, half a dozen to the other. It's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
You could go on and on with all those stupid things, but like at the end of the day, making sure that those people at the end are like, this is a great experience. That's where I'm kind of focused. I'm not focused on money when I'm talking with a client. I'm focused on the solution and the answer.
Money is what we have to charge
experience.
For the service, but the service is the most important
thing.
And
if you follow all those steps, the money just, it follows.
It follows. It does. It follows you. That's it.
Dan, we asked this on the last episode, so I'm curious with you as well. Was there ever a point in time, or did you know that you wanted to run your own business growing up?
So this is a funny story because this hooks back into tattoos. I don't know if I told you this story or not. So my father worked in a print shop up in northern New Jersey for 43 years. He worked there, and they did bumper stickers and all kinds of stuff like that. Yeah,
you did tell me this.
And temporary tattoos that, like, you go to Seaside Heights or whatever, you get
Yeah,
a temporary
I remember
tattoo.
this.
Like,
Yeah.
probably came from the shop in Elmwood Park that my dad
That's awesome.
was a manager at. And I actually started working there. I have, like, the chemical burns to prove
awesome.
it. No joke.
That's awesome.
But, like, at, like, 12 years old, like, I'd go in on a Saturday and, like, help out and make a couple extra bucks, whatever.
Yeah.
And I would, like, clean the screens or whatever and kind of look at the different stuff. And I would get, like, sheets of, like, these extra tattoos that were, like, slight mistakes. Like, they were hair off on, like, the silk screen print, that kind of thing.
He's a hustler.
And
right here.
I went into school and, like, rolled those fucking things in my backpack. And I was in, like, 2nd grade. And it was, like, out on the playground. And I'm like, $5 here, $5 here.
Yo,
if you wanted the Black Panther.
That's what the entrepreneur
He's
started.
a hustler.
It was early 90s. If you wanted the Black Panther, and everybody did, $5. Like, and sure enough, it was like a week and a half, and I had like this wad of cash in my pocket. I'm like, man. And then all of a sudden, I get called into the principal's office.
Yeah.
And it was like,
Can't do
are
that.
you the one doing this? And
kids
this
are
and that.
going
And
broke.
like in the principal's office, there's like
they're-
a
they're
tube
light,
in my
right?
backpack. And I'm like, yeah, it was me.
Always get
So
called.
I get like sent home from school. My parents pick me up. It's this whole
How
thing.
proud was your dad, though?
And I can tell my dad was at work, but I remember my mom, like, I can picture my mom's face in that moment. And I was in 2nd grade. My mother passed away when I was 16. So it's like, I only have early memories, but
Right.
that is a memory that I have, and it is like burned in my brain.
Okay.
I remember I got sent home from school, and she brought me home, and she's like, give me the money, this and that, give me the tattoos. And
The money?
yeah, give me the money. I'm like I'm pulling all these singles like out of my pocket. She's like, give me the money, give me the tattoos, give me this, give me that. And I'm sure she was like to my dad, like after hours, like, what are you giving him that for? You know, all that, you know? But she just looked at me, and I could tell she was like, just like,
This fucking kid.
why'd you do that? You know what I mean? Like, but I could tell like there was something in there that she's like, he's on to something. Like, he's gonna be all right. You know what I mean? That was the vibe. Like, she had to be like, come on, but like,
Good job,
be all right.
kid. Yeah.
So like, I've always had that like drive to
Right.
look for ways to
Yeah.
do something.
Yeah.
You know, when I was a little kid, like everyone had Nintendos. Right when Nintendo came out, like late 80s, I wanted a Nintendo so bad. And it was like, my parents ultimately, they bought me the Nintendo, but they bought it through like, you know, the same discipline that I instill in my children, that like if you want it, you work for it,
Yeah.
you get it,
Go
and
get
no
it,
one's
yep.
going to give it to you. That like, I mowed the lawn, I washed the dishes, I did this, I got $1 here, $1 there, this and that. And finally, it was like my birthday, and I got like an extra $20, whatever, from family, scrounged up, and I think it was $75 for Nintendo at that time. And it was
That's how
like,
much it was?
I went, to Valley Fair in
That's
South
crazy.
Hackensack, because we took my grandmother food shopping every Thursday, and it was like $75. And I got that Nintendo and got it home, and out of the shed was a black and white television. That was my grandmother's, and I got to play Nintendo like Super
black and
Mario was on
white?
a black and white TV. So I got Nintendo like 3 years after everybody, and then it's on black and white. But I didn't care because it was mine.
Right.
It was mine.
And
And
you
to this
worked for
day,
it.
like I tell my kids that story, and they're like, "Shut up, Dad." But
Something
it's that
worth
kind of
doing.
stuff.
You
for you
fucking
work
work
You
for
Yeah.
work for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He
Like,
had the Charlie Chaplin Nintendo version.
it was no
just
joke.
like,
It was no joke. It was like a piece of paper that you just flip. To
when
like
you
show
jump,
it.
it
It
said
wasn't
jump
anything.
at the bottom.
Yeah. But I think I always had work ethic instilled in me, and I had that example. Like my father, my brothers, my mom, they all worked extremely hard.
Yeah.
That's
And
really
I looked at that level of work, and also as I've grown, looked at, well, how can I do this like better or smarter? Even when I was employed by people, like what's a way that I could do this like better, you know? And ultimately, eventually, it just kind of came to the point that I'm like,
I should do this
why
for
am I
myself.
making money for other people when I can do it for me?
Yeah.
You know, and you know, running your own business is not at all for everyone. I think
It-
most
it
people
is
fail
not
at it, and it's
for
hard.
everyone.
And I was going to say, I feel like in today's time, I feel like social media almost pushes the entrepreneur way. So a lot of
It's so
people,
hard.
a lot of people have I'm going to get up, I'm going to do this and this and this. How hard and important is it to have work ethic, to have discipline, to have goals and trials and tribulations? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just a clear path to the end of success.
So I come from a very corporate industry, and while I was working there, he said to me, he's like, you need to stop. Like, you need to do all of that, like, for us. And I thought, yeah, I could do it for us, no problem. And then I embarked on that journey. It's fucking hard. There is shit that hits you from left field that you're like, okay, we need to figure this out.
You work more, you work harder.
Like he said earlier, like I don't even watch TV. It's constantly always work. And it's, even though I'm not physically here, there's a lot of like behind the scenes stuff that I take care of that it's just like, you have to be on your shit if you want your business, not only to like to stay afloat, but to thrive and to grow. It's more than just like, hi, how you doing? Let's, you know what I mean?
It's a lot more than, it's more stressful and a lot more work to be an entrepreneur than it is to be an employee.
100%.
We take all the risks all the time. We could get sued, we could lose our shit, we could fire, everything. We have to worry about everything. So there's a constant worry being an entrepreneur. And then, like he said, there's different versions of a business owner, because I also know business owners that are just that. They're not entrepreneur, because it's two different things. There's a business owner that just owns a business and continues to work for the rest of their life at their own location. And there's entrepreneurs that expand and do other things besides that one type of business that they embarked in. But it's super important to have the work ethics, man. My family alone, they fucking work, dude. So when I met her, I used to work 13, 14 hours. I used to come home at 4 in the morning from tattooing, like, and I used to go like 11 in the morning and fucking be there till 4 in the morning tattooing.
So it's not that crazy for me. I prioritize rest for sure.
Work-life balance.
Yeah, and there's this thing that said, millionaires doesn't sleep. And she was like, they do sleep. But I'm like, we're not millionaires yet. I can't sleep. You know what I'm saying? I can't.
Yeah.
So I can't sleep. You know what I'm saying? So I'm constantly like doing something. Like I don't go to sleep till 3, 4 in the morning every day because I'm either drawing, designing, now I'm doing music. I just finished a painting on Sunday.
Dan, what does a day look like for you?
It varies greatly for me, and part of that is because when you run your own business, like it's on you. Like people work for you, but I don't expect the people that work with me. I never, I said before, I always emphasize with my staff, whoever it may be, anytime someone says, well, I work for you, this or that, no, it's we work. You work with
together.
me.
We work
together.
That's what I say too. Like,
and it's a relationship that I'm saying to them, I will commit to providing an opportunity and a space for you if you commit to work with me as a team. A typical day, I'm usually on job sites reviewing through things with clients. I'm usually meeting with some clients, architects, designers, going over design options, having them come into our showroom to kind of review through different things, and then going through pretty much like the main sales processes and office management. I deal with the front end of the business, dealing with staff and dealing with sales and clients and contracts, where my wife handles the back end of the business. And I'm like, I don't envy you at all. Like,
I think we already met a few, we know entrepreneurs that are friends of ours, and it's the same shit. The wife handles the fucking numbers and all that shit. We do the client facing, the shake the hands, the contracts and stuff.
Let me tell you something. As a wife, we don't enjoy that. We only do it because you guys don't do it. Okay.
I know. I can tell you that.
Just to clarify,
our business runs and is streamlined the way it is because of what she does, and I will be the first one to be like,
me too.
You got it, like 100%. Like
shit, yeah.
She's
cool.
amazing at.
They're the brains
what
of how the
she
shit
does,
works.
and you know, I can sell anything I want, but if we don't pay for the stuff after we sell it, well, that's a pretty big problem. You know what I mean? So she's just making sure everything is up to date and current. And if I go, hey, such and such a job, what's going on? And it's like she knows, like she just rattles it off. I'm like, how do you do that? It's crazy. You know what I mean? So it's a typical day can really vary, and I think that's just really an honest statement. Like, if you run a business, of course, you tattoo. That's what you do. Yeah. I sell building materials and help with installations and, you know, general contracting and working with homeowners. But every day, it's honestly, it could be a totally different thing. Like today, this is awesome. This is a really fun thing to do, and I appreciate you guys asking me to come on.
Man.
But I think, like, how you mentioned social media and entrepreneurship, I have to tell you, I'm a little bit old for the social media stuff. Like, I have Facebook, but I don't have Instagram or any of that stuff. I get my chops busted. I get my chops busted by my wife.
We need to get
I don't have Instagram and all that, and I'm kind of like, all right, but
does your business have an Instagram?
it does.
Okay,
it does.
good.
She does all that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't do that. I'm like, I don't
it.
want to mess anything up. Like sausage fingers, I'll hit the wrong button and make an idiot out of myself. But I think social media glorifies the entrepreneur idea. And I think it does it in a false way because it's presented people with something that's like, hang out with me and I'll stand in front of a plane in 10 cars. And it's like, that is not what it is.
And them shopping and all that, that's just the gimmick. That's just the...
It's totally... It
there's days that I'm like, I don't want to. Yeah. But I have to. I have to. And then there's other days that I'm like, shit. Like, I have plans, but somebody on my team called out, and now I have to be there, right? So I have to, like, be able to pivot from whatever it was that I thought that was going to happen that day and kind of go in the direction where I need to be for that day. And that requires an incredible amount of discipline because as an employee, if you don't want to go, hey, I don't feel good today, and so I can't be there. But if my team is out, I still have to open these doors. You know what I mean?
I still have to sit there and tattoo.
It's
even if I feel the same way they're feeling.
Yeah, like I mean, unless they're contagious and then say your ass home. but yeah, it doesn't matter what mood you're in. It doesn't matter. You got to show up. That's it. It's like, can you imagine calling a client and be like, I need a mental health day, and you do need the mental health day. You just can't take it right now. You know what I mean?
I think there's an exchange with it. And there's nothing wrong with either way. I think you can be employed somewhere, like in sales or something like that. You can be employed somewhere and make really great money and be really satisfied and happy.
Absolutely.
There's a sense of security when you work for a company.
Absolutely.
And that you have opportunity, and you can do really well if you work for a great company, you know? But then there's a certain sense of freedom as a business owner that you're in charge, but there's a serious sense of fear that you're in charge.
Yeah. Like, it is so scary.
You. No one's going to tell me, hey, Dan, you might want to think about doing it that way. And, you know, the whole, like, cars and planes and all this, like,
that's
junk.
Not it.
It's a lie that they sell to people on social media that everyone's got to look cool and this and that. I can tell you that in my niche industry, I'm a tiny little business. But you know what? I know compared to anyone else out there, like, my industry is a bunch of old, fat, white guys. And I'm looked at as, like, what's with this guy? You know what I mean? But it's like, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different the way I do things, but I know the way I do it, I can work faster, harder, stronger, quicker, use technology better, and find the right companies to align with, to find the perfect solutions for a client that I can get someone a quote and present it in a way that's, like,
cool.
Where the other guy's like writing it on a napkin of like, man, it'll be $5,000. It's like, you want to do it or not? And they're like standing there with their gut, like whatever.
It's
like,
I know one of those guys too.
About.
We were dealing with one of those guys here.
I couldn't
do
it.
You can't do it. You know what I mean? So it's like, I know my nose is to the grind every day, and it's not about what's showy. It's not about anything. For me, it's about knowing that my wife and my 3 children and me are being set in a path that I know my kids will have the confidence going forward, that they don't have to worry about money. No one's like ringing in the bank, but that I know when my daughter's in, 8 years or out of high school, or my son, moving forward, looks to go where he wants to go in life.
Anywhere, trip anywhere.
He's not thinking, well, how are we going to pay for this, or how are we going to do that? He's thinking, that's what I want to do. So he moves forward.
And the added responsibility to be able to provide a similar lifestyle for like your employees, right? So for me, it's important that our families succeed, but it's also incredibly important that the people who have dedicated their time to working with us can also succeed. And it feels honestly like when COVID happened, like it was my responsibility to make sure that my team was going to be okay. Like it was so stressful for me because I know that we were going to be okay because my husband was going to make sure that we were going to be okay. But who was going to make sure my team was going to be okay?
Yeah,
so there was a lot of that for me.
She made sure that happened.
Yeah, I made sure that my team was taken care of.
And she literally saved the team without them knowing. So we owe everybody in the shop a lot because we all play our parts. It's like Voltron. It's like, it is what it is.
Voltron. It's funny when you think about that. Like, COVID, I feel like COVID and the shutdowns and just the whatever people think about it, but in my opinion, the extreme overreach of government with all of it, just small business owners. It was the ultimate test of a business owner going into that and going through that, because you'd lose someone for 2 weeks and it's like, it's not their fault. So it's like, what do you got to, you got to make that right. Those people have committed to you.
Absolutely.
You got to take care of them,
So touching on the biggest test and the grind every day to become an entrepreneur and a business owner, for all of you personally, I'd like to know, was there ever a moment in time where you didn't know if this was going to work? Like, you were so hard-nosed in, and it was just that one day where you almost felt like you were going to break, but the next
because me personally, I jumped into something that was never secured. I had to secure myself.
Okay.
Like you said, a lot of people are employees at a company or whatever, and they feel secure because either they're given a contract, this is how much you make a week, and they could plan for the future. Me, it was just like, it was just like making it work. Some days I have a bad week. I will have a bad month. You know what I'm saying? A great day, a bad weekend. So it fluctuates. So it was never like consistent until I got into the swing of things. And, you know, I developed myself into who I am now, where it becomes a little bit more easier for me to plan for my future. But, dude, at the beginning, it was completely rough, bro, because, you know what I'm saying? It was never secure. I had to make sure I go out there and get it.
Yeah, he definitely wanted to quit.
I used to drive throughout the city. Yeah. Do you know how people come here and I'm like, oh, here's your design? I used to go to their houses, show them the design, and I would sit there on the trunk of my car, literally, when they didn't want something, I would erase it and draw it right in front of them as they're, and I'm like, all right, I'll see you tomorrow, because I had to make sure they were coming tomorrow. And I would travel and drive to one house to the other, showing people their designs.
So throughout all of this, was there ever a moment in that where you felt like you wanted to quit, like this wasn't going to work out for you?
Yeah, dude, because I had kids, I had my wife, and I'm like, okay. I started seeing tattooing almost like a fucking hobby at that point. I'm like, damn, is this really real? Is this even a career? So then the whole trucking industry started coming to my head, and then my dad started pushing in, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to become a truck driver because I need instant money and I need to sustain my family. My thing was my family, dude.
Is that what your dad does, trucking?
No. He works for like a recycling company and shit like that. He's been there for like a long time, but I'm like, I wasn't trying to beat him and fucking be a guy sitting in a fucking
so he sat there,
Bobcat, fucking picking up shit. You know what I mean? And
he sat there and he was like, I think I'm just gonna go drive trucks. And I was like, why?
And I remember this. We were sitting in the backyard and I'm looking to the sun. And I'm like, yo, because
so this was the breaking point moment for you guys.
This was the breaking point moment for us.
My girl just asked me for something. The rest of the babies asked me for something. She was like, damn, we need to do something. Whatever.
But I was working, right?
Yeah, she was working.
I was working. I had a career. I made great money. I made enough to provide for our family and still have some luxuries, like still be able to go away on vacation, or you know what I mean? Yeah. So on my end, I didn't know the pressure that he was feeling because I was fine. You know what I mean?
My pressure comes from me quitting a security job because I used to work for Merrill Lynch. So once I left Merrill Lynch and I jumped into something that I had to secure myself, you know, deep down the line, like 2 years later, I was like, damn, is this just a fucking dream that I'm having? Because now I'm with her, but now she has to secure a job. She worked for the stock market and shit. I'm like, fuck. A little bit intimidating because I didn't have something secure and she did. And as a man, it is what it is. You know what I mean? So I'm sitting there like, all right, I need to fucking secure something and bring money into the house. Not this bullshit. I'll bring 1,000 today and 50 cents tomorrow. Yeah. I can't do that with the amount of kids that I had and all that. You know
so I think that, like you said,
she pushed me back into it.
As a man, his ego was getting the best of him because, like, our expenses were covered. Maybe we didn't have as many luxuries as we do now, but he was like, I need to match what you're doing. You know what I mean? And I was like, but you will just stay the course.
Yeah, keep working.
You have a talent, bro. You just gotta.
I'm like, yeah, but I'm not good and whatever. But the thing is, the privilege that our artists have right now is that they have me because I'm on top of them and I'm trying to guide them to get to where I'm at. I didn't have none of this. I was my own motivator. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when you keep motivating yourself and you don't get to a certain place, you kind of fall back and you're like, damn, it sucks.
Am I doing this
right? So you need that extra person to be like, yo, get the fuck up and continue to do this shit.
Have you ever felt like that?
So
he used to be a chef. He's missing this whole thing. He's like a great chef. Yeah. And then he went into the whole business of the whole windows and glass. Yeah, that's fucking important, man. I love food.
Yeah. So like short version of a very long story, right? When I was like a little dirtbag, like 16-year-old punk rock kid, lady from my church worked at a nursing home for Franciscan priests.
Okay.
Go figure. And they decided to hire a 16-year-old boy to work in the kitchen.
Right.
Okay.
Hey, go for it, right? So I knew how to cook. Like, my mom taught me all different types of things. Like, that's some of my earliest memories is learning how to make food. And I started to make food for, like, 70 people a night, like, all different stuff. And, like, did all kinds of things and did that for, like, a few years.
Did you enjoy it?
Oh, I loved it. I
Okay,
love cooking.
good.
Like, it was the thing I was very passionate about. And I did that, and I stayed into hospitality until I was in, like, my very early 20s. And then from there, my brother worked at an Anderson window distributor up in Allendale. So that company basically sold windows and doors to every lumberyard in New York, New Jersey,
like the
Delaware,
supplier.
Connecticut.
Right.
Exactly. So lumberyards would call in and say, I need 20 of these, 30 of these, whatever, you know? And I got a job there in inside sales because it was like I was just tired of working nights and weekends and holidays and not being able to have everyone else's schedule. Like I was always
working
away, you know? So I went away from cooking after working in, you know, different places and being in hospitality for some years. That was kind of how I started out. And I took the job there, and like I just became a sponge, and like was like, all right, this is what I'm going to do. And I learned everything I could learn about the nuts and bolts of what makes up building materials. Like when I started, I'm like, well, windows lift up and down. That's what I knew about it, you know. I worked my way up there and did all their custom quoting for a custom product. And then from there, they were going to be bought out by Anderson directly. And that's what it is now. People just order direct from Anderson Windows. So I bounced around to like lumberyards, showrooms. I opened and helped design showrooms. I worked for a historic window manufacturer as a national sales rep for a little while. And that company, you know, I'm fast forwarding years with this, was going out of business. And they had a bunch of IRS trouble and kind of finished some of the jobs. It's actually the back of the $10 bill was the last project I worked on with the U.S. Treasury Department.
Oh, shit.
Like, it's pretty cool, right? Like, you know,
that's hard, dude.
I didn't
That's
get paid completely for it because it went out of business. But, you know, whatever went on with that, you know? So it was like at that time I saw the writing on the wall that they were like on their way out and down. I'm like, what am I going to do? You know, like, what do I want to do? Do I want to stay with windows and doors? And I just, not doing it for myself and doing that for other people, I was like, I was burned out from it. And I was just like, I got disgruntled, I guess, in a way with the industry. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go back to cooking. I want to do it. Like, fuck it. I'm just going to go for it. And I just, like, I knew that place was going down, and I just jumped, and I, like, no clients, no nothing. I started a personal chef business. Oh, cool. So I was cooking for a lot of clients in Princeton, Rumson, some up in Short Hills. And then I've gained a lot of it back since COVID, and I'm starting to lose it again. Down 14 pounds in 2 weeks.
Congratulations.
Anyway, I lost about 75 pounds, and I started to connect with different gyms, and they were like, would you start making health food and stuff like that for some of our high-end clients? And I started to do that. I then connected with the nutritionist for the New York Giants, and I cooked for some of the Giants, like just on a weekly basis, and bring food to their house and stuff, which I don't follow football, so I think it was kind of like a relief for them that they show up, they're like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, I don't know who you are.
Enjoy food,
So that was a cool experience. I cooked for some people that are in media and stuff like that, and some like high-end executives, and like that was my business. I did that, providing them high-end food for weeks, and then I did like high-end private dinners in people's homes. Like that was my favorite thing to do because I could really just be creative and show off. Kind of like with me when I show up to you and I'm like, you do whatever you want and you do whatever you want. You know, so I was able to really do what I do with that, and like cooking classes in people's houses, and it was a cool gig.
That's awesome.
It was also a way, I was in the midst of a divorce when I had started all that up. My daughter was about 1.5 years old, and it was like, how am I going to keep my kid in my life in a way that I'm not just money, you know? And I revamped my whole business with that as a personal chef. It was like Mondays and Tuesdays, I'd work like a 20-hour day, and the rest of the week, I was working from home. So she was like, Daddy just
hangs out.
was home. And I'd work before she woke up. When she took naps, I'd work. After she go to bed, I'd work. So I was home marketing when she was with me. And when she wasn't with me, I'd do the private dinners, you know? Like, so it was a cool way, and that's what I talk about, where there's that exchange, you know? Like, I exchanged the certainty of working as a sales rep in windows and doors to start my own thing and just jump with no parachute of like, I'm just going to do it because I knew I could do it. Like, if you can see how something would work, as long as you have the work ethic, if you could see how it would be done, you can make that happen. Like a baseball pitcher. If a baseball pitcher knows where the ball's going to go, the mechanics follow through. So it was similar to that. So I was doing that. I reconnected with my wife now, Erica, who you got to meet, who's on my arm. We were childhood friends and like reconnected with all that, and we were hanging out. I lived in Asbury Park, and she was in Ocean, right next to Asbury Park, and we were having our daughters play together, and we started hanging out. We started to date, and you know, things just went from there. With that, it was a cool thing to be a chef, and she was a copywriter. Her profile was I write about everything from wind turbines to cranberries, which is true. Like people would be like, write me whatever, and she would do it. And she's a psychologist as well, so like she combined all that together with writing for people.
That's awesome.
Ironically, her family owned a window company in Asbury Park for like 30 years.
The universe.
But just like, you know, we're reconnecting, we're talking, she knows me as a chef, and it's like, you know, she's talking about her family, and I have no idea. You know, we just had all friends from when we were teenagers and stuff at punk rock shows. And it was like, you know, my family did this and this and this. She's talking about windows and doors, and I'm like,
you're like,
oh my God.
I mean, it's not like it's like everyone you walk down the road is like, yeah, we used to sell windows and doors.
and you fucking used to do it, so it's like,
yeah, and I was like, you know, and she was like, you're a chef, and I'm like, I know, but like, rewind.
I
did that. So it was just kind of like this cool thing, but we had our business and we did what we did. And then, like, fast forward, it was like July of 2016. And my father-in-law, the business that he had, he was retired. He sold the business to the former store manager. And he was a great guy, like, good guy. But it needed to be rebranded. It needed some change, you know, to be viable. And it just, he wasn't going to make it with what that model was. So my father-in-law approached my wife and myself and was like, I'm going to have this open space. I'm going to have this building. He's not going to be making it. Do you want to do something together there? And with that, originally said no, because I had my personal chef business. She had her copywriting business, and we had like a good thing going on. Like I was working 2 days a week, and then other than that, it was marketing. She was working from home all the time. Like we had a pretty cool work-life balance, like right on the beach near Asbury Park. It was like we hung out on the beach 5 days a week and just did what we had to do. But we kind of said, well, we'll come in, we'll help. Like if you're trying to just get rid of some stuff and whatever, and like help out. And like we got there, and it was like September of 2016. It was like people are coming in and like, can't I just order this from you? Or can't I just this? Or can't I just that? And then I'm like looking at them like the wheels are turning here. Like, do you want to make something of this, or do you guys want to do it, or what? So we decided to kind of make a go of it, and
that's awesome.
We incorporated some of my background along with their background, because we were on two very different sides of building materials. Like I dealt with all like historic stuff, they dealt with a lot of the newer stuff. So combine that to offer a lot, and we've really expanded our offering since then.
That's awesome.
But it was something that was like not planned. It was something that, how you talk about like the universe, how things kind of come back around, that it's like we literally, my buddy Ryan that I grew up with did like a video promo for me years ago for my chef business, and the first line of the promo is, I sold building materials for years, and I hated it. There was nothing creative about it. That's literally the first line in it. And then fast forward a couple of years, like, I'm back. Like, you know, it's a weird thing. But, like, you know, full circle, things come around. It's weird how that all happens.
That is, because I was just talking to him about the universe and all that. And
even connecting that, like, her family was in that. I was in that as a background. My family was all in that as a background. Like, it's just like an odd set of circumstances.
Yeah, like how? Yeah, you know what I mean?
Like if you met your wife and when you met her, she's like, well, my family are all tattoo artists. It would be like, what? You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
check this out. When I met her, she came to get tattooed at my house, had a tattoo party, and she wanted on her ribs her daughter's name. So her daughter's name was named Chelsea. So as I'm writing, I'm designing the name. She looks at my fingers, and I've always had this. 1111 has been like a significant number in my life where I see it constantly. It tells me I'm at the right place or I'm meeting a right person.
I had a Boston Terrier whose birthday was 11.
Really? So you see what I'm saying? So I had this, and she's like, oh, what do those numbers mean? And I'm like, oh, you know, these numbers follow me wherever I go. It tells me if I'm in a good place. She was like, that's crazy. And I'm like, why? She was like, because that's my daughter's birthday. And I'm like, oh, shit. That's
How cool is that?
Yeah, I didn't think anything of it. I was like, yeah, it's cool.
I did. Yeah, right. I did. I saw it instantly because I was always conscious of the signs around me. Yeah. I'm like, you know how the whole people be like, what a coincidence. Well, coincidence don't exist.
That goes back to what we were talking about yesterday. When someone notices someone, they're like, why do I keep noticing this person? Why do I keep seeing him? They kind of dismiss it.
It's a word where people can't describe what just happened to them. Mm-hmm. The abnormality of that. So, it happened to me like a few days ago at the jewelry store when I was just talking to you about this whole fucking singing thing. And it's crazy because it's the same thing.
I can't believe it.
You're like,
oh, I'm a rapper now. I'm like, all right.
Well,
me too.
So I've been a spectator. I've seen him perform. I've seen him write music. I've seen him like shoot videos. Like I've been on this side to like appreciate the artistry behind the music. I never ever in a million years foresaw him on a stage of that magnitude
Sharing the stage with Kanye West.
Yep. It'll be on the same
That
stage.
is
So
insane. That's another
do you
level,
do you
dude.
believe
Like-
in vision boards? Do you do vision boards? Is it something your wife does, or do you guys kind of just write your goals and keep it moving?
I think there is amazing value, and the law of attraction is something that I absolutely
that's real.
believe in. I don't believe that it's like, well, I think I'm going to be successful, so I'm going to write success down
No.
and it's going to happen. No,
Right.
you have to make that happen. But
Right.
I do believe where you draw your attention, be it negative or positive.
Yeah.
My rule at my office is like positive people only.
Yeah.
If you're negative,
Us too.
Out.
there's the door.
Yeah.
I don't care who
Yeah.
it is, you know. But I absolutely believe in putting things out there and documenting things. My wife and I look at it a little bit different. Like I have that. Let's fast forward 10 years. Where are we going to be
Yeah.
so I can figure out
I
how to
can do
get
that.
there?
I do that.
My wife looks at it more in the current state, and
Yeah.
I think it's a great combination
Yeah.
because where I can kind of be like out there, you know, she kind of like reins it in
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah.
But that combination together is like an awesome 1-2 punch, you know, and I'm thankful for her with that. But I absolutely am all about putting things down. I call them brain dumps.
Yeah.
Popular with Johnny Depp these days.
Yeah.
My brain dumps are I sit there, I close my eyes, I write down every single thought in my head.
Yeah.
I get that all out. After I write those thoughts in my head, I organize them into like what matters, what doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, and keep that moving forward so I can keep going where I want. But vision boards, all that stuff, I believe in writing plans and processes
Yeah.
to say this is where I want to go. If you're not organized, all of this entrepreneur stuff, people make like, I'm a baller, I say this and that. It's like, whatever. It's about being organized and passionate. And if you're organized and passionate, and if you're up till 4 o'clock in the morning doing it, it's because you want to do it.
Yeah.
It's because you care, you know?
So I am big on vision boards. I create a vision board every year. Sometimes I like edit it throughout the year to see where I'm at. If I've accomplished something off my vision board, it comes off, something else comes on. So I want to say 4 years ago, we did a vision board, and on it said pop artist, really big. It said do epic shit. I had, we wanted to do like a collaboration with Kanye West, but more on like an artistic side, like design sneakers. And so we were thinking like in that, whatever. We put our house there, our cars, like everything that we wanted.
Everything on our vision board we've got so far.
So every year, you know, when I see, all right, we accomplished this, and that, this is still on our board. This is still on our to-do list for whenever I just move it up and move it up. So this year, when I created our vision board, right on the very top, I had Kanye West,
And
pop
pop
artist, and then like do epic shit. And last night, I'm talking to my niece, and she was like, is this on your vision board? And I was like, shut the fuck up. It is on my vision board.
So fire.
Yeah,
So it's crazy that Kanye West was on the vision
Isn't
board,
it crazy?
and I'm gonna
really
be
cool.
performing on stage with
on the same
on
stage.
the same stage as Kanye West, and it's like it's mind blowing
It
to me
is.
still.
No,
Like
for real.
this is literally my approach and my attitude every day, and I'm still like in awe. Like I can't believe this shit, to be honest with you. You know what I mean?
We will
I
touch
think
on
it's-
it a little more in a little bit, guys. We're going to head into the halftime break. We'll be right back. Welcome back.
Welcome back, guys. Halftime.
Dan, for all the lovely people out there, if they wanted to get in contact with your business, how could they do so?
Best way to get in contact is monmouthmillwork.com. Instagram, Facebook is at Monmouth Millwork. That's MONMOUTHMILLWROK.
Very nice. And you just talked about always seeing far into the future, 5-10 years down the line. What is next for Monmouth Millwork?
So right now, we've just expanded. We moved from a 3,200 square foot space to a 7,500 square foot space.
Wow,
Congrats.
congratulations. Almost
Congrats.
double your size. That's cool.
Absolutely.
congrats.
And we've started to get into general contracting
That is
and
awesome.
really
That's
expanding
awesome
our
that you
range
guys
of
do that.
services because
Yeah.
we do it
Yeah.
anyway. And people have asked us, well, could you do this or could you do that? Because typically we sell windows, we sell doors, molding, hardware, cabinetry. And folks have kind of been like, you know,
Can you
I know
put it
you did all
together?
this, but we really need
you
our
build-
deck
yeah.
redone. And it was like, well, we can do that, you know. So
Yeah.
we're just adding to our
That's awesome,
level
dude.
of services.
That's awesome.
With that, the new showroom, we're going to have a space. Architects have to do continuing education credits.
Yeah.
So we're going to host an education center in the
That's
building.
awesome.
That's in the works. Yeah.
Education is
And
the way.
we are in the process. It's about 3,500 square feet, which is
That's
going to
what I'm
be
talking
our
about.
possibilities showroom.
That is
Yeah.
Where we're just going to show over the top, interesting, fun, like
Yeah.
ideas that really, when
Yeah.
someone comes in, they're not thinking about, oh, I just need a white window or a new front door. They think about, like, I could do that. Like, that's what I want people to think about. Like, well, my neighbor has this door, my neighbor has these windows, or this kitchen, that when they go in there, they look and it's like,
That's
well, I
fucking
could
cool.
do that. And it's like, we could do anything
that's
we want.
awesome.
You know, that people can really personalize them what they want.
Yeah, that's freaking great.
That's really what we're going for, and really changing the experience. The other place, you know, would be considered like a store, like retail space, where now we call it's the office. You know, come into the office, make an appointment, and really provide people that one-on-one attention that someone really deserves, versus like the lumberyard experience where someone comes in and it's like, what do you want? And they're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, like I really care about what goes into people's houses,
especially
and
when
they're
you don't
like,
know.
wow.
Yeah, especially when you don't know what you want.
And if people don't know, we educate them and work with them, and just kind of like not try to do any like cheesy sales pitches or anything like that. Just show them what it is and let them pick what they like. Yeah, make it happen. You know.
We are definitely gonna take this on the road, and we're gonna go to his business.
Cool.
And we're gonna record it, the inner workings and the inside, the outside, everything. You know what I mean? And we're gonna introduce everybody to like the staff and stuff like that, so you guys get familiar with the business and what they do. Because it's very important for everybody to like for the community to come together and know their business around the area and stuff like that. This is super important. You know what I mean? And then it's a cool guy, and it'll be cool just to show the rest of the side. Because I know the people that work with him are also just as cool as he is. It's just what it is. Because just how we are, we only work with positive people. Yeah. And you know what I'm saying? You won't find nobody negative here in our place. So we're looking forward to that.
Very nice. Before we head out of here for today, guys, we have to touch on the Johnny Depp case just because it's all over.
We're already laughing.
Please
all right, so my favorite meme is the pint of wine. I love that. It's a shit show right now, but at the end of the day, it's a shit show. It's a shit show. The lawyer that they got for the case is a fucking moron. This guy is hilarious. I would love to hire him just to laugh in court. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I will say.
Hearsay. Oh my god. Every second. Every second.
And but you know, I'm always like a conspiracy theorist. So I'm like, why are they showing us this so much, and there's so much more going on?
So yes.
You know that part?
But also, like, I have witnessed men be in domestic violence situations.
Men get arrested.
And I have witnessed a man be abused by a woman regularly and kind of just sit and take it because he didn't think that the law was going to side with him. And so to see this, I'm like, aha.
Because imagine as a guy, you walk to the police station, be like, yeah, she hit me. And they're like, stop being a bitch,
yeah,
bro.
Exactly.
No, that's exactly.
Imagine you go into a police station, you're like, she shit on my bed.
You should pick it up.
Change sheets.
How important do you feel it is to touch on men's mental health? You know, and their awareness on that.
Whose mental health? I'm sorry, I couldn't. How important is it to touch on
men's mental health?
Oh my God, incredibly important, and I'm so happy that this. I'm sorry that he had to go through this, but
you matter too, yo.
Facts, and it's unfortunate that there are more dominant men, and then there are less dominant men, and I feel like there are more dominant women and more docile.
But for the majority, men get treated like second-class citizens, from rights to everything. Because
dude, bold statement, my guy. Very bold statement.
We do, because think about divorce. In a divorce, the mother automatically gets the kids automatically, right? Why not the dad?
No, but wait, because you have custody of your child.
What happened? I fought for that shit. I had to go to court and actually but I had to have actual facts of proof. But at the end of the day,
that's a society thing. That's because society places all the responsibility on the mother.
So men we get most of the shit when it comes to like divorces or splitting or problems, shit like that. Because everybody looking at the situation with Johnny Depp and his girl at the beginning, I remember it was just like, yo, he beats the shit out of her. He's mean to her, whatever.
Maybe he did beat the shit out of her. And now, by the sounds of it.
And now, I mean, you take the shit in my bed. I'm throwing shit. That's gonna be a shit show in there. And we're gonna shit at each other. We're gonna party. It's gonna.
Which a lot of people don't know about this court case.
It's not gonna
happen. This fucking guy.
What a lot of people don't know about this court case is that Amber already was arrested for domestic abuse on one of her previous boyfriends in 2009, and she also had 2 to 3 other people come out that had been in a relationship with her.
Didn't she smack the shit out of Elon Musk or something?
She's wild. So she hit Elon Musk too?
They used to date or something.
Okay, well, she's wild. She's gnarly, man.
Yeah.
So men's mental health is incredibly important, and it sucks that you can lose so much just because of an allegation, right? Because I think like his whole career shifted after she claimed that whatever the situation was. So the fact that there may very well be a lot of things going on behind the scenes, but I think that this trial is really showcasing how relationships could be toxic in both ways, you know?
That is all we have for you guys today.
What a fucking show.
Wow. Right?
Thank you for watching Chakra Out Loud.
This fucking guy.
We had a great episode.
Right.
Dan, thank you so much
for
joining us
women were
today.
allowed to vote, my guy? Like, we just now started being able to establish credit. Shut up.
I was trying to start some shit.
You did start some shit.